On the broadcast tonight, the sales pitch as the president takes the themes from his speech on the road, and Americans want to hear about jobs. That Toyota recall has now gone global, and they may have figured out a cause behind gas pedals that stick. The ice storm hammering the Central Plains tonight and moving east. Day by day in Haiti, there is some food to be found, but are people getting it? And an American woman there who is making a difference. Plus, the legend, the author J.D. Salinger has died, leaving behind a book, Catcher in the Rye, that will live on forever in American life. Nightly News begins now.
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams.
Good evening. It's estimated 48 million Americans watched their president on television last night. They watched an unusual speech at an unusual time in this country. They saw a president admit his own faults while openly prodding Congress, even the Supreme Court. He laid out where he wants the country to go and said he's not going to quit in the effort to get there. And he noted the anger, not just what politics has become these days, but what's become of millions of Americans in this economy. Today, he went on the road to follow up on some of last night's promises. White House correspondent Savannah Guthrie begins our reporting at the White House tonight. Savannah, good evening.
Good evening, Brian. The president is following what's become presidential tradition, taking his State of the Union message on the road. His trip to Tampa today to promote high-speed rail projects, the first of 3 trips in the next week. The president looking to reconnect with the people. The president in Tampa today.
Good to be back in the Sunshine State.
Getting out of Washington to campaign against Washington.
I don't want gridlock on issue after issue after issue when there's so many urgent problems to solve.
The President of the United States.
Continuing where he left off Wednesday night.
Despite our hardships, our union is strong. We do not give up. We do not quit.
The president's 70-minute State of the Union address laid out jobs as his job one, pushing a package of small business tax breaks and chiding Republicans for sitting on their hands.
I thought I'd get some applause on that one.
The president spent less time on his signature issue, health care reform, but made an impassioned plea to fellow Democrats to get it done.
I will not walk away from these Americans, and neither should the people in this chamber.
Today, some Democrats criticized the president for not laying out a specific legislative strategy to get health care passed. But House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said it will happen one way or the other.
If the fence is too high, we'll pole vault in. If that doesn't work, we'll parachute in, but we're going to get health care reform passed.
Down in the polls and battered by a year-long health care effort that has yet to deliver, the president vented against petty politics.
What frustrates the American people is a Washington where every day is election day.
Today, Republicans were skeptical.
We're going to look for common ground, but we're not going to roll over on our principles. We're not going to vote for things that we believe will hurt our country.
Well, tomorrow the president and the administration hoping to get some good economic news. The GDP numbers will be out, and they are hoping here from some good economic growth, Brian.
Savannah Guthrie starting us off at the White House. Savannah, thanks. One part of that speech last night was about jobs, aimed specifically at small businesses, which of course have been hit so hard by this recession. But will the plans the president laid out really help in this area? Our own John Yang talked to some small business owners in Chicago.
Looks good to go.
Yeah.
As president of a small family-owned manufacturing company, Craig Shields listened carefully to what President Obama had to say about creating jobs.
I thought there were some very good points, and I thought there were some that could be changed.
He likes the idea of helping exporters and eliminating capital gains taxes on small business investment. But tax credits for hiring?
I'd be happy to take the money, but hiring decisions aren't made based on tax credits. It's made based.
John Yang, NBC News, Chicago.
You may recall for a while last week, it looked as if Ben Bernanke's confirmation for a second term as chairman of the Federal Reserve might be in big trouble. Well, today the Senate reconfirmed him with ease. The vote was 70-30, though that's the most no votes any Fed chairman has ever received. On Wall Street here in New York, stocks finished the day lower. The Dow was down almost 116 points. Now to the trouble with Toyotas. A congressional hearing has been set for next month to look into what went wrong with these accelerator pedals on several of the automaker's most popular models to see what the company is doing, whether they're doing everything they can to make sure the cars are safe. Phil LeBeau is at a Toyota dealership in Dearborn, Michigan tonight. Phil, this continues to be a stunner for Toyota, which could do nothing wrong for so many years.
Absolutely. To say it has stumbled would be an understatement. This is a growing problem for Toyota, Brian. Even as it develops new gas pedals, it is recalling more vehicles in China and in Europe. And there are new questions about how it has handled the recall of more than 2 million cars and trucks here in the U.S. Sefkat Adjarowski is scared to drive his Toyota Camry.
I'm concerned because it's a brand new car, and then they're not going to check it. How I'm going to drive? I'm scared to drive.
He's not alone. Across the country, frustrated Toyota owners are visiting dealers asking if their cars are safe.
I'm just really upset that they would sell me a car knowing I'm 6 months pregnant and I have a 3-year-old. That they would endanger, people's lives like that. That's not right.
And tonight, there are new questions about how long Toyota knew of the accelerator problem before they issued a recall. In a letter last week to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, the company wrote, starting in March 2007, Toyota received field technical information regarding reports of accelerator pedals demonstrating symptoms such as rough operation or being slow to return to the idle position. Toyota says, based on the information, it believes it acted appropriately. The company that supplies Toyota accelerators in question says the problem is with the design of the gas pedals. CTS Corporation says it built the pedals to Toyota's specifications and is now working with Toyota on a plan to fix the accelerators.
Out of the millions that we've made for them, we've only identified 8 with the potential condition of the slow return pedal, for which is the subject of this recall.
CTS is also building a redesigned gas pedal that will eventually go to Toyota's plants and dealers. With Toyota scrambling in a crisis and suspending the sale of some models, its rivals in Detroit are pouncing. Both GM and Ford, which today announced its first profits in 4 years, are offering Toyota owners incentives to trade in their car for a new model from the American automakers.
So this is another opportunity for our products to be considered by the consumers.
It may be a while before Toyota and its supplier CTS come up with a way to fix existing gas pedals that are part of this recall. Brian, by one estimate, it could be months before all of the affected gas pedals are repaired.
Unbelievable news for Toyota. Phil LeBeau, thanks as always. And now to the latest news from Haiti. There are scattered new reports tonight that hungry, angry crowds are mobbing some food distribution centers in Port-au-Prince, the capital, adding, of course, to the chaos of the massive relief effort. Also tonight, people are still talking about a remarkable rescue that we showed you on this broadcast last night. We begin our reporting from there with NBC's Kerry Sanders.
News, Port-au-Prince, Haiti.
We'll have more reporting from Haiti when our broadcast continues on this Thursday night. But first, the dangerous weather system on the move across a big part of the central part of the nation tonight. And later, he rocked the literary world with Catcher in the Rye, then disappeared. Tonight, the life of J.D. Salinger.